a good synergy with the Beastmaster Invoker, good carry to counter the Doom. Definitely Thunderbirds for game 1.
Thunderbirds are go for gods.
Thunderbirds for me too. I think Spectre is going to be a liability, and I generally just don't like the first phase TA. I think it's going to struggle a lot.
Okay, 2 for Thunderbirds.
Can I call them TBs? Is
Yeah,
that okay?
you can call them
TBs?
what you like.
Their
Alright.
tag is T-Birds.
All right.
T-Birds.
T-Birds. All right. Well, I'm with TBs for sure.
You're with TB as well.
Yep.
Not the Terrorblades, the Thunderbirds.
Yep.
3-0 then for the Thunderbirds. They have the vote here at the expert panel. Do they have what it takes to take game 1? Let's find out as we head into our second series of the day here at the Kiev Major.
Thank you very much, Red. Indeed, it's myself and Kevin ready to get going with Liquid versus Thunderbirds. We've just seen the drafts. I'm sure you got a lot you want to talk about, Kev. We've got a final pick Doom coming through already, starting to see a new sort of shape coming out of this tournament.
Yeah, he's a hero that hasn't been super popular lately, has been picked a little bit. People thought that Doom was kind of killed with the Tranquil Boots nerf and no longer has armor, and that's kind of one of the things that Doom needs really bad in the early game. So we'll see what kind of ability he goes. It's going to be exciting to see him offlane. Usually he's played like a roaming support, so this will definitely be a bit of a different game.
Well, what do you think about the quick reaction at the end from Thunderbirds going in with the Wraith King? Do you think that was the plan all along? Did they see the Doom and that was like, oh, okay, we're definitely picking this as our safe?
Yeah, it's definitely a reaction to the Doom pick. There's no way it isn't. Wraith King can work a lot of games, but he also has a lot of issues. But being able to have a second ulti, which basically negates Doom being a useful skill, that's a really good upper hand to have for a team. So I think the Wraith King's a good pick here. And it also kind of just counters well. Especially if he goes a little bit of minus armor, he'll be effective against Spectre. He'll be effective against the Doom as well.
Absolutely. I mean, the team fight from Thunderbirds is potentially going to be incredibly destructive. Just having the Wraith King slow and then the follow-through from an Invoker's combo or Sand Warlock, it's going to be an absolute mess, the 5v5. But, of course, it's all going to be down to the lanes at the start, with Liquid picking up this Monkey King first. We saw the Beastmaster picked in response. Do you think Kuroki's still going to get a lot done in this early game?
I don't know. We'll see. I feel like Liquid didn't pick Monkey King very much at DAC, at least. A lot of the Chinese teams were onto it at the very start. The Western teams are catching up a little bit. We'll see how his does. But there's been a lot of downtime since that tournament, so I'm sure all these guys are up to speed on the hero.
30 seconds to battle.
I see Kuroki already over here on the side of Thunderbirds map, looking to get some vision, but certainly not going to go for any aggressive sort of play. Misery and Rezo in the neighborhood.
They're trying to get a ward down? No,
they already got the deep one down, Kuroki.
I mean, they can maybe kill Wraith King here, but I mean, Doom really doesn't want to have to fight level 1, so Devour level 1 is just way too good to pass up, so.
Yeah, Saxon as well. Actually going to heal up Resolution, so Thunderbirds, they themselves could look to try and turn. We'll see a bit of a fight around the rune, and in the end of the day, it's going to be the 2-for-2 going either way, and Thunderbirds getting themselves the first blood. They may even be able to get themselves more here. Mana is nearly going to be there for Resolution to have a second Ray Fire Blast. He's clariting up. He's got it good to go. Drops it down, and with the Shadow Word damage as well, this should be a second kill for Thunderbirds as they block Mind Control off. Give a bit of gold as well to Weeha. Perfectly done. And Liquid, all a bit of a mess down there.
Yeah, this is way too ideal there for Liquid. They just can't fight at level 1. Monkey King without his third skill is not that amazing at trading. The hero's got 0 armor at the start of the game. He just can't tank any damage. And even like Winter Wyvern and Doom didn't want to skill anything, so they walked in there with basically 1 skill point for 3 heroes. It's just not valuable. So the Doom will start in the jungle. It's not that big of a deal, but giving 2 kills to Thunderbirds at the start of the game is gotta be tough.
Yeah, making sure that they get that Sunstrike hit as well is huge for Weeha. Yeah, in this mid lane. I mean, the mid lane matchup as well, Invoker versus TA. Oh, actually, we'll hold that for because top lane Moon is being gone on. Hasn't quite hit level 2. He needs 1 more creep to die to get that XP for the Burrow Strike, but it looks like he's not going to get that lucky as Liquid will take him down and punish him. You know, obviously, getting that first point in the passive, you need it, but if you can't hit that 2 in time, you're always going to be vulnerable.
Yeah, that was pretty greedy by him. If he did hit 2, he probably would have been okay, but he probably felt overconfident against a Winter Wyvern Spectre. It's not really the best dual lane, but definitely has some decent slow. He'll be okay from here on out. In terms of the mid lane, like we were talking about, Invoker's historically not good versus TA, just low armor kind of stuff. You can't really break refraction super easily, but depending on how early Miracle goes to the jungle, it should be okay for Weeha. So most of his gold acceleration is just going to come from Sunstrike kills and just typical laning stuff. So really it'll be a little bit more about how his team sets up kills. And they can do that easily with Wraith King in the safe lane. So that's going to be maybe the hero we watch, is whether or not Doom gets combo killed or maybe even Monkey King too.
We see Mind Control, after picking up that first creep in the jungle, coming back into lane and getting a bit more aggressive. Has picked up the toughness aura, and I guess that's, as you mentioned, Tranquil boots, they've been taken away in terms of the armor, but you'll be able to pick it up in the form of an aura, and you can head back to lane.
I mean, he's got an Elf Wolf here. This is really the ideal in a lot of ways.
For sure.
It's like 30% damage bonus, and you have a 20% to double damage crit. That's by far the best neutral.
Top lane again, Moon being gone upon. Spectra Dagger is there. Matumba fairly low, and Moon will have another Burrow Strike in 5 seconds, but with Kuroki jumping in, it's not going to be quite enough. They'll try for the chase down. Moon actually turning around with the aggressive Burrow Strike to hold Kuro back. Sax is there as well to make sure the Liquid can't get any damage done. And in fact, at the end of the day, Kuroki himself is going to be walking away very low on life, and also Matumba in this top lane.
That's the hard thing about Monkey King right now. His armor's just so low that if you go Poor Man's Shield level 1, then your other support has all the items and you don't have that much regen. And then if you go Orb of Venom, then you have no armor and survivability. So when you do get hit, you lose like 300-400 HP every single time. So there's this weird place for Monkey King now where in the early game you have to be a part of a lot of kills, or you have to get some pulling done, because if you don't, you're going to get under-leveled and you're not going to accomplish very much.
And it's a very hard lane, really, to kill the Sand King in, it feels now at this point, because you've got all the slows, but that's about it, really. You don't have any huge amount of burst damage, and you don't have any stuns.
Yep, yeah, exactly. So it's difficult to actually make a big lane impact on the hero. You just have to be kind of like a roaming playstyle. Show up at the right place at the right time, get the kills, and let that try to accelerate your team. But now that they've rotated Warlock up here, it's even harder for them to kill Moon Meander. On the bright side, though, that is going to give more space for mind control in the safe lane. And he's already picked up level 3. And in the mid matchup, if that continues to go well for Miracle, then overall this will be all right for Liquid. But they've got to give some space here to Wyvern, who's going to die. And Spectre.
Yeah, ticking out to the Shadow Word. He came forward trying to interrupt the pull that was being made. And Moon, actually with the next Burrow Strike onto Matumba. Matumba himself incredibly low. His Saxa has got a Shadow Word. If he can get himself just in range, and Matumba, he's going to be taken down as well as ThunderBirds get a second double kill for the Warlock on the off lane. And Liquid looking after a really rocky start in this lanes.
Yeah, it just looks like the typical thing that's been popular since DAC. Pick really, really strong laning heroes and let that carry you into a good part of the game. And I think Liquid maybe this is part of the problem with grabbing heroes like Winter Wyvern sometimes. The heroes kind of inconsistent in the lane, and Spectre is definitely the same problem. So their picks maybe is going to work for them better the late game or maybe the mid game as well, but it's looking real iffy right now.
For sure. I mean, one of the lanes that's going very nice, of course, for Liquid is this middle. Already the CS, as you anticipated, Miracle with the TA, certainly riding on the advantage that he has on this hero, and even more so, in fact, by the looks of it. 23-12 against the 11 for 7, and also that little play from Kuroki, not getting the kill, but forcing Weehai out the lane. I mean, Miracle, he is going to hit those item timings, and if he gets himself a good Blink Deso, he is going to be able to help these side lanes out that are struggling.
Yeah, he can actually help a lot against heroes like Warlock and even Beastmaster sometimes. If you can go on those guys, and especially when they're by themselves, that way they can't just ulti, it's a pretty easy kill. Those heroes don't have very good control. It's basically just, Wraith King and Sand King, but he can actually deal with both of those heroes, especially the Wraith King. So I think TA is going to be instrumental here. He's the best hero at dealing with the Wraith King, just tons of physical damage and minus armor. That's the best way to kill Wraith King really rapidly twice.
And already as we see the Ancient stack.
Moon might be in trouble top. Never mind, just being a little harassed.
Matumba, 27 CS to the 34th Rezo, so not falling too far behind, considering the amount of harassment Moon and Saxo have been able to force onto him. Moon, just in with the strike, isn't going to connect. Has to be a little careful. Kuroki is in the neighborhood, still just level 2, so no point in the bound list yet. And Moon is going very, very aggressive, feeling confident with the backup of Saxa. But Liquid, can they actually punish it? I mean, we already talked about how hard it is to get Moon, and he is able to do these sort of plays and positionings. And with 3 heroes there, he doesn't feel too scared at all.
Yeah, I love the Treads build he went as well. It's not something I've seen before on a Sand King, but
that's true, actually,
the attack speed that he gets from it, that's an extra Caustic Finale proc on every single thing he attacks. The extra attack speed makes a huge difference in the laning stage here. Not to mention, it did just get buffed, gives him a 200 HP difference, which is massive early game.
Oh, so
and
the 10 stats, is it?
Yep,
yeah,
10 instead of 9. So small buff there, but the attack speed is huge, and the tread swapping in the laning stage, it's actually super valuable here. It's going to be, in a lane like this that already has damage problems, if they're going up against treads unexpectedly, things get even harder. So I really like this choice by Moon here. Really affect the lane.
Still mind control there, pick up an Invis, and he's eyeing up middle. He's not quite level 6. does have the Shockwave nuke, but it's going to be top
easy
lane where the
kill.
action again is happening. Moon moves in onto Kuroki. The Cold Embrace will be there. Moon, though, revs up the epicenter. He's sticking around for the Monkey King kill, and he'll get it. Brings down Kuroki. Matumba in return, trying to find Sack to the stick charge. Just about keeping him alive. He'll still fall down, and Matumba dives in deep, but Resolution coming in with the rotation, looking to hunt down Matumba. The Sal's there. Matumba not quite enough mana for another
He's map
dagger.
hacking.
He does
He
have a
knows.
mana. He's got the mana for
Oh my
TP. He's
God.
going to go for it. He's not going to make it. Resolution hunts him down just in time. And with a good few crits, he should be able to get this. I mean, Matumba's speedy with those phase boots.
He's still map hacking.
He's been duped. Resolution's still looking
Okay.
for him in the trees. Matumba just cuts across the lane, gets out. And meanwhile, whilst the attention was being drawn up there, mid lane, Liquid went full in and took down Weehart.
Oh, Misery's going to find him accidentally.
Matumba, this is not the route you want to take.
Does he see him?
Oh. What?
All right, now he sees. They might get him.
Okay. He's fine.
No, okay. That was really close. I think Rezo didn't anticipate the phase or something because he just sat there and auto-attacked.
Yeah.
Probably expecting the kill, but had to be a little bit more careful with that. Good escape, but still costs the Spectre a lot of time here. In the meantime, Moon and Meander pressuring the tower.
Yeah,
This
it's
should
top
be a
lane.
dead kill.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, they
dead
did.
hero.
No, they didn't stack the stuns. They're holding on to the Brave Fire Blast. They don't even need it for GH. Or maybe they did. GH gets away. He lives, and Moon goes down. GH will finally pop. But now Liquid with the 3-man reaction straight in onto Resolution does have the reincarnate. So he's going to have that second life to go, which will almost certainly be popped as Mind Control tries to chase it down. Can they kill him a second time? Doesn't look like it. They have to
That's-
back off, but still, that's a long, long cooldown to be put on.
Yeah, no kidding. 240 seconds is huge for this hero, especially if the first reincarnation you use doesn't produce a kill. It puts you really far behind, actually, because now you're just this squishy hero that has a stun, and until he actually picks up something like Armlet, his damage isn't even that incredible. So definitely a bad place to be in for him.
Mind
But-
Control will get the deny on the tower.
Losing the
Kuroki.
safe lane is so big, though, at this point. 8 minutes and your safe lane tower's gone. That's insane. Because now Spectre doesn't have a safe place to farm. And if he does sit in the lane here, it's really far for his allies to TP to a tower and support him. So this should give a huge advantage to ThunderBirds, especially with heroes like Beastmaster. They can just push out the lane, invade the jungle, and now they have an extra couple camps, and it's easier to gank the Spectre, who's still insanely far from Radiance. He literally
sure.
has just got his basic items.
Matumba can certainly pick up a bit of action though with the Haunt now online. If Kuroki's able to set up for some sort of a play. I mean, between the two of them, if they catch someone their own, you just having the phase boots and the chase down with the Desolate damage, they can find someone. But it's always going to be risky because we've seen already how both teams in this game are very quick to react and make sure that no one's left alone. But mid lane Miracle, he's fairly deep. Kuroki comes in with the Boundless to cancel the Epicenter charge up, and Matumba haunting in, as mentioned, able to be involved in 2 quick kills. The Roar will be there just to hold them back, but no follow through from ThunderBirds to find anything in reaction, and that's brilliant. You know, Spectre that was suffering in lane suddenly turns up, gets involved in a good slice of action.
Yeah, super good rotation there. 2 kills and a mid tower? That's insanely good. And all it took really was the Boundless Strike on the Epicenter. That turned everything around, and Invoker would have been fine otherwise. And he still doesn't have Midas yet, 500 gold away from that. Now all of a sudden things are looking a little bit rough for ThunderBirds. The last like 2 to 3 minutes, other than that top tower going down, has been kind of weak. I mean, Wraith King did that early TP to the top lane. He didn't get a kill for that. And ditched the safe lane. On the bright side, Soxa hits a fast 6 and gets Arcane Boots, but I don't know if that'll cover for it fully.
I mean, with that 6 online, do you think we can expect to see ThunderBirds very keen to go for a play? I mean, they're smoked up. They want to try and find something, and as you know, they want to do something big with this ult. And getting the tier 1 in return down mid would be perfect. Finding someone like Matumba would be even better. You know, the Haunt's not going to be there to help him escape. But can you get the jump? You've got no Epicenter, though, for this.
And they don't have Aurora either for 20 seconds, which is fine. By the time the smoke ends, it'll be about up. So, but they didn't bring the Warlock with, and them starting fights is a little difficult right now. Because if they go on the wrong heroes, it's just not going to work. Because if it's Doombringer and he turns on his Scorched Earth or something like that, it's going to be a tough kill. Picks up the Cloak Aura, surprisingly. Not sold on this. It's only 5% magic resistance for heroes, but probably just did it because he wanted to eat something. He's probably really hungry.
And make sure you're getting that bonus gold. Top lane, ThunderBirds finding the place to put a bit of pressure onto this tier 2. See what Liquid want to do in reaction. They are starting to make their way up there. Matumba Man still 30 seconds before the ult is back available.
That's one good advantage that that ThunderBirds has, is that Liquid takes a very long time to set up. Their heroes are all pretty slow. They're not super mobile. The exception of Spectre ulti, basically. They are a lot better at split pushing. And Crow can just split push in the mid lane as well. So it's going all right. Who picked up the Midas here? Oh, Doom's got a Midas, damn. Is that the only one?
We've got the minus on Invoker
Okay,
as well.
Invoker just picked us up as well, but Mind Control getting at that time is really good, actually.
Yeah, so Midas into drums looks to be the plan here for Mind Control this game.
Okay, so no Tranquil Boots yet. Probably will just not upgrade his boots, I'm guessing. I think that's probably
Yeah, I guess
fine.
there's not too much detail. I mean, you get a bit of extra speed from the Scorched. And
If you don't get armor from the Tranquil Boots, it's probably okay to pass it up. Even though the extra movement speed is still really good on the hero, I feel like he'll probably just wait. And early drum is super effective when you're having a little bit of teamfight problems, just because it's an extra, what, 14% attack speed or something like that? Or 14% movement speed, 25 attack speed, I believe.
yeah, big buff to
13
have
and
early
20,
on for the entire team.
So now the teams are getting a little bit passive here. Miracle's farming aggressive, which is good because that way he can rotate into a lane if they need a kill. But it's not as easy for ThunderBirds to do that because it's basically Invoker, right? So he's going to sit on his Ancients and hit creeps, but it's so much more dangerous because heroes could actually get wards down. There's Monkey King that could scout him out. So I feel like at this stage of the game, Liquid's actually sitting really good after they got that double kill mid with the tower. It like killed all of the early like tower advantage.
Yeah,
that ThunderBirds
bottom
had.
lane, they just go for the quick and easy kills here. There's been a bit of a downtime, but the action picking back up as bottom lane Sax are caught out.
Almost no way that he survives there. And this is really nice thing about the Monkey King Spectre. The laning was really rough, but now it's just so easy to find a hero. And if it's somebody like Warlock that can't defend themselves, it's easy every time.
This could be nice. 5 seconds until the Boundless strikes. They don't have the initial stun follow-up, but they've already got 3 touches onto Weehan with the meld damage. It's more than enough for Liquid to pick up the Invoker kill. A massive one to find. That will be the goal for Miracle, to have the Desolator complete at a very respectable timing, 13.5 minutes in. Resolution actually moving out aggressively in the mid lane. He does have his ultimate to rely on, so he's feeling fairly confident and safe, knows that the Horn isn't there.
And he doesn't walk over any traps, which is very good for ThunderBirds, because he could have just been revealed here. They're going to maybe try to kill Doom here. It's a possibility it'll work. Still has the Cloak Aura, but no Scorched Earth for 20. And they don't even do that much tower damage just yet. It's basically just simple right clicks. He does have Armlet at least on the Wraith King, so that'll help a little bit. Liquid pretty heavily controls the middle of the map, which is slightly surprising due to things like Beastmaster, but I feel like we haven't really seen Misery do a whole lot this game so far. AFK jungled a lot, did a couple of early rotations, but they were pretty reactionary. We haven't really seen him start tempo and get a kill.
Do you like the decision of Resolution this game to go for this armlet and then into the Blade Mail straight up?
It's a very good build, actually. He definitely needs extra armor this game. I think that's probably the main reason it's good. Because if you're against a TA with a Deso, Armlet alone isn't going to cover you. You need to go really heavy into armor, and that's one of the better builds to do so. There's just going to be a lot of damage happening in the fight that can't be stopped, like Doom Scorched Earth. You can reflect back towards him. Things like fighting the Spectre is pretty strong. Fighting TA once his refraction's gone is great too.
I'm just going to see a smoke up here from ThunderBirds, ready to go. They have all the ultimates at the ready. Let's see if they can get the wraparound jump. No one towards the mid lane really at the moment, only the Wyvern in the general neighborhood.
Yeah.
He's already heading himself out of there.
Basically, Liquid just paying attention to this. They know that their opponents have really good team fights, so what they're going to do is just avoid fights. I don't even know if they can get this kill.
G8 should be fine. Still has the Cold Embrace to rely on to get the heal off when he's far enough away. Kuroki's coming across, mass TPs. They want to make something happen. There's the Horn. The Boundless strike onto Resolution. The Golem's been dropped in return, though. ThunderBirds trying to use it to buy themselves some space to back out, but they've already lost the Warlock. Resolution being surrounded by the 4-mana Liquid, but Moon comes in with a beautiful epicenter burrow strike, but is it enough damage? The Golem's been taken out. Matumba Man's low. Resolution has the Wraith Fire Blast, finds the kill. They've lost Miracle as well here. GH has to get himself the hell out of there, and Mind Control could be in trouble as well. The Wraith Fire Blast connects. Moon is going to have the burrow strike to find another. The crit comes through, and ThunderBirds end up taking the team fight, and they may not even been done yet. Moon still hunting down GH. GH tries to hide in the trees. He's not going to get out. 4 down on Liquid. ThunderBirds. I mean, it just kind of I really want to give credit to Saxa there. Even though it didn't look great at the start, just drops the rock, and that allows the space and time for ThunderBirds to kind of reposition themselves and turn it around into a massive win.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to win that fight. It looked really bad for them, but Reincarnation at the same time as the epicenter actually made a huge difference. Maybe Kuro, you could blame him for not ulting earlier. I feel like maybe he should have dropped his ult. But I don't think he felt like he needed it, and the epicenter kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, that 3-man burrow strike epic combo, absolutely perfect.
And the Doom was a bit weak as well. They didn't really need to Doom the Beastmaster. Got him out of the fight, but he had already used Roar, so at most, level 1 axes, no call the Wild Boar. Kind of an effective usage by Liquid, but I thought they were going to win that fight. I think they felt confident with it as well.
Great fight for Thunderbirds. I mean, it's just kind of rocketed. Well, Resolution now on par with Miracle, who was keeping himself a little bit ahead with the speed that Miracle was farming at. But that fight has leveled the ground between the two of them. Miracle halfway towards his Blink Dagger. Resolution on the back of that, of course, Blade Mail complete. And will be queuing up the Blink himself, so an extra bit of chase. It's going to be pretty crucial. And we're seeing these sort of fights, and it's never really everyone dying in the midst of it all. It's whoever can chase down those extra 1 or 2 kills at the end of it that comes out on top.
And it's not even just the chase, it's also the fact that he can initiate is huge on Wraith King. Being able to go in first, force your opponents to actually cast spells on you, use your ulti, or maybe you have to use Winter Wyvern ulti to save like Monkey King. That could absolutely swing a fight. So, and if your ulti goes off, you can blink out sometimes. It's going to be really effective here.
What do you think about the decision from Moon, actually? Something I feel that we don't always see on SKs, the blink into Hood.
I've seen the Hood a few times. It's so good when you pick it up. If there's a lot of magic damage, it actually makes Sand King so survivable. I think the last time I saw this was actually at Genting, where DC at the time actually did end up winning the tournament, and Moon was building it, I believe, at the time. It's really effective for overall survivability. It'll be really good against things like Doom, Scorched Earth, against Radiance when it comes out. It's a good item. I think it can really make Sand King way more survivable.
Talking about the Radiance as well, the progress from Matumba, 3.4k gold, so very close to having that relic. We'll see if he is able to close that small little window on this first big jump towards the item without being punished by Thunderbirds. And it looks like he'll be okay, unless this goes really badly for Liquid. They themselves are looking to fight here. Moon on the high ground, great position though to dispel the smoke and immediately blinks out. So it looks like Liquid won't find the catch that they wanted to with that movement.
Really good play by him. I think their Observer did spot them smoking. They were around that area when they ended up smoking, but either way, still really solid play. They'll try to turn this into a Roche kill, though. TA is one of the best Rocheers, but can they get there?
Oh, on the side already. Epicenter coming out from Moon as he bursts down Kuroki, and immediately eliminating one of the members of Liquid will force them to back off. And, well, they have brought Roshan down to half health. Thunderbirds themselves, they could try and take this kind of without the Monkey King. They don't feel too much threat around the pit. They need to be careful about a good ult from GH.
I mean, Thunderbirds messed up really bad there. Misery summoned the Hawk. The Roche clapped and killed us. They don't have vision. This is going to be hard for Thunderbirds.
The Horn coming in straight away with the Winter's Curse. The Radiant will get Roche, and they do still get the Aegis. Liquid aren't able to stop them doing that. Matumba falling incredibly low, trying to get himself up to the high ground, but the Sunstrike, not quite enough as the damage is split with the creeps. Matumba's still on the run. Weeha, can he chase this one down? They themselves don't have any vision there, Thunderbirds, so Matumba man will be safe with the initial attempt to juke, but the TP's still on cooldown for 30 seconds. There's no way this man gets out. Surely not.
No way.
No way. No, oh my goodness.
Holy
okay, they've not
crap.
seen. He's still got 20 seconds of
No, they assume he's gone.
Oh my goodness.
You don't keep looking at this point. Oh, I haven't seen him in 40 seconds. Maybe he's still here, guys. Maybe you would own. I'm not sure if they
He's
would.
getting out.
I think he is going to get out. I mean, he did lose a lot of farm time here, but the fact that he didn't
For
die
sure,
was
and it
helpful.
still was not great, of course, for Liquid.
At all.
Absolutely, yeah.
I thought that Liquid was going to take that fight pretty well, considering that they had Thunderbirds had no vision, but it worked out. The Rock came down at the perfect time. They were able to get Roche kill and Aegis still. That was a huge grab.
Yeah, it's crazy. And Thunderbirds now able to turn it into another bit of an objective on this bottom lane with the tier 1 push. Liquid, they're in the neighborhood. Looks like they will do their best to slow this down. But Resolution with that Aegis, with Reincarnate.
He's got Blink too. So
Absolutely
if
massive.
they see an opening, he's going to go.
He's thinking about it.
Yeah.
Miracle with a click Blink.
I like how he did that. He doesn't want to gamble a Blink stun. He'd lose too many resources. But just testing the waters. Throw the Hellfire Blast out.
We'll still get the tower. There's the jump forward, straight in onto the TA. GH and Mind Control there to try and hold him back, but the Blade Mail's pot. Resolution continues to charge forwards. Can actually bring him down once. That Miracle touches him and says, I'm out of there. Does not want to commit for that. Knows that there's backup as Saxa, Weeha, Misery in the neighborhood as well. And Moon, meanwhile, diving the tier 2. Tried to make a play with the Epicenter. Doesn't really get too much damage done at all with that one. But just a zoning one, just to try and assert his domination on the game, Purge.
Yeah, losing and trading that for Monkey King ulti, I think is completely worth it here. Because now Monkey King's kind of a worthless hero. Not worthless, but he's not good.
Look at this aggression from Rezo, just diving in. Knows the backup's going to be there with a Burrow Strike and a Sun Strike. The double strike combination to bring down GH. 15 to 10, Thunderbirds moving on to yet another tower. Matsuma Man, how's he going for him? He's doing his best right now. He knows that he can't turn up to the fight. He's trying to get that Radiance finish. He has got it. Haunt's there as well.
Might be too late.
Absolutely. Against the items and the stage that ThunderBirds have reached, these fights are not going to be easy at all for Liquid.
Yeah, especially with the Hawk, it's spotting where their supports are standing, and then it's so much easier for Wraith King to jump in and stun, or Sand King. They can make perfect decisions basically with Sun Strikes and get those crucial support kills. Like if Winter Wyvern dies, that's most of the team fight for Liquid. They've basically got Haunt, they've got Monkey King ulti, and they've got Winter Wyvern ulti. Obviously Doom is great, but you need some AoE control to try to combat things like Warlock and Invoker and Sand King. So the vision game is huge in this match. It's almost everything, really. Miracle hoping for a solo pickoff, but
with the AFK strats here.
He can maybe kill Warlock, but even Warlock has a buckler right now.
And if he does, I mean, he's almost certainly going to be in risk of being punished by ThunderBirds.
He could actually kill Invoker, maybe. Invoker's probably who he's hoping for, but
I don't know, quick reactions from Wii could get him out with a good tornado.
they spot
But
that.
yeah, but they're going to haunt in. They want to fight. Mind Control gets the Doom on to the Sand King, but in response, Taxa's there. Drops the Golem. Already Liquid trying to split. GH with a decent curse on the backlines, managing to lock down the Invoker and the Sand King. And in fact, that's going to be it for Liquid as they get the two. They've popped the Wraith King once. Can they do it again? They've lost Miracle, though. The Golem's still alive, pounding through Liquid's lineup. And Matumba Man trapped amongst the Ancients, trying to get himself away, but he's ticking down low. Ooh, does actually manage to survive. Resolution tries to hunt him down with a blink forward, but it's going to be off the point. And on the back lines, they were able to take down Misery as well. Resolution ready to come back in. He's going to try and go for the one-man cleanup. Oh my goodness, that crit! They said Doom had a lot of health. Not anymore. That one shot from Resolution bringing Mind Control straight out of the game.
He even skipped the, he got the health perk as well. 275 health is kind of hard to pass up, and it doesn't quite pay off there, but.
Reza, I mean, he's got no way to break this tree. Okay, well, Moon has the burrow strike. They still don't have any vision to get this Monkey King.
He's got force. He could force here. Oh,
he needs to break the trees. Oh, I didn't break the right ones.
Just a little bit too late here.
Yeah, they know that they can't get the monkey. Oh, okay, well, if he comes down off the trees, they might. Oh, no, Kuroki just with the bait, but the Sun Strike's there. They've got him this time. ThunderBirds able to outplay Kuro at the end of the day.
And the pressure's on. Wraith King's looking really good this match. He actually does counter a lot of the Liquid heroes, and you're seeing in that last fight, just does a lot of right-click damage. It's very hard to kill, survivable, and it's not going to stop.
Misery, the roar onto Matumba. Matumba does have backup, and this is right by the shrine. So Liquid straight in with the reaction, but oh, Moon on the back of it all with the Epi straight onto GH. Sunstrike setups there. As they'll take the Wyvern out the fight. Mind Control just being pulled apart from his team. Moon may go down, but Mind Control, can he survive? Cold Snaps there is the Ray Fire Blast. Double kill for Weeha. And again, another trade where ThunderBirds are coming out on top in terms of numbers.
Yeah, all the cores on ThunderBirds keep getting more and more farm here. That's the big thing. They're not dying in the fights, so Weeha's going to eventually get to something like a BKB or an armor item. It looks like he's going to go Lincoln's Blink BKB. He's got it all planned out. And at that point, he's just not going to die, really. Spectre's got his Radiance. He's picked up a Vid Booster, but I mean, he's still going to be vulnerable to the Wraith King at most of the stages of the game. It basically comes down to initiation. Can Liquid go in first and kill off some important heroes like Warlock or Sand King or Invoker? I don't know if they can this game. It's tough. I don't think the Monkey King has to play safe, basically, because he always has to worry about like the Hawk or some other person having vision on him and blink stunning him. So like their vision advantage that they're maybe supposed to have is very difficult to actually facilitate and give their other team members advantages.
Absolutely, a very, very tough position for Liquid to be in at this moment in time. 20 to 15, 25 minutes in. Miracle's still up there in terms of net worth, but it's the fact that there's an Invoker and a Wraith King on level with him. Has got the BKB complete. This is an absolute necessity against this lineup of ThunderBirds.
It's definitely good to have, but it all depends who goes first. If he gets chain stunned, he's dead, 100%. And they're going to go in first on him.
Let's see what they can find here. Resolution. Ooh, quickly though, as the blink outs there from Miracle. There'll be a haunt from Matumba. Matumba's actually gone right into the midst of it all. Mind Control jumps in with the Doom. Very nice. Make sure there's no chaotic offering this fight. The Winter's Curse is there to control the Wraith King. Kuroki's looking to Moon on the sidelines. Miracle's chasing down Wii. They've brought down the Invoker. They've taken Wraith King down once. They may be able to do it again. He'll jump forward. He's looking for the crit onto GH. He isn't going to be able to find it here. They surround him. Resolution almost certainly going to go down a second time here. And Liquid doing it there. And you You've got to give hats off to Mind Control, getting in with that Doom without the chaotic offering, which has pretty much been the key component in the last few fights. They couldn't quite do it, and they may not be done yet. Kuroki looking to Moon. Is going to get out the courier, though. Just sitting there with the AC completion recipe and the armor. Oh my goodness, and there's no AC now for 3 minutes. What's happening? Thunderbirds are just a swing around.
Yeah, they didn't expect that fight to go like that. But if you try to initiate to stun a Templar Assassin with a Blink Wraith King stun, it's just not going to work. It had to be Sand King going in first, and that was the crucial mistake there for Thunderbirds. If Sand King initiates first and they fall up, they win that fight. But instead it was them retreating, getting doomed, and then everything going badly.
Oh my goodness, Moon. Trying to slow down this push here with the Burrow Strike. The tier 3 already down to half health, and Liquid certainly going to be riding on a newfound bit of confidence after that bit of play. Miracle suddenly 2k ahead at the relevant cause on Thunderbird's side, as he will look to build into the Bloodthorn as his next time to have that extra bit of lockdown and damage. And as we're seeing, these silences, these dooms are just huge against these heroes that rely on getting the ultimates off in these team fights.
And they're building the right items. And there's a lot of survivability things. Soxa picking up the buckler still on a buckler. Someday he'll build a mech, but he is definitely the hero to Doom, though, especially with a mech.
Absolutely.
But he will be protected against silences later in the game, at least. He'll have that going for him. But they've gotta have the good initiation. It's all about that this game.
Straight into the pit. I don't have Horn, of course. Liquid still down. I'm actually saying that only for 5 seconds, but it looks like the speed that Thunderbirds can take this is going to be too quick for Liquid to have the chance to contest. So, they do want. Oh, Matumba, he tries for it. Not quite there in time. The Burrow Strike in reaction. The combo ready to come through from Weehaw. They're actually probably a creep there. Kuroki drops the ult in the midst of it all. They're bringing Weehaw and Resolution down low. They've already found two. They'll pop the Aegis on Weehaw. The bashes coming through from the Wukong's command, knocking the Wraith King down. Also, the bashes again on Weehaw. A second bash from this Wukong's, doing huge amounts in this team fight, and they'll clean up the 5th as well. A perfect ultimate there from Kuroki. And Liquid, they don't get the roast, they don't get the Aegis, but they get the full team.
I'm actually so surprised they didn't do better in that fight. They got the Golem off, they got Fatal Bonds. I mean, I guess they did waste Necro just killing the Roche, but... And the Winter Wyvern ulti was crucial there. It actually guaranteed the kill on the Sand King, and he's actually going to go in.
He's trying for someone here with the Epi Moon straight in. And with the Sunstrike, it will bring Mind Control down very low, but the Cold Embrace is there to top him back up. It will slow down the Doom's aggression. But the rest of them still standing fairly strong. They will back up now, with Thunderbirds coming back into the game. But yeah, these last 2 fights from Liquid showing incredible potential.
Yeah, he actually picked up the Devour Ancients skill, and he grabbed the, I don't remember what it's called, the new purple one that has no magic resistance. So he's got the Petrify thing, which roots for 2 seconds, and he's also got Desecrate. Now, Desecrate's pretty special. It does 200 damage, which is quite good, but also lowers your base armor by 50%. So if anybody has a lot of stat items or naturally high armor, it can be really effective. So that's possibly part of the reason that they're shredding so fast, because stacking that on top of Templar Assassin, for example, could really amp your damage. But most of the fight still comes down to killing the important heroes and preventing their team fight from coming out. And once again, Thunderbirds got initiated on. Even with the Aegis grab, it wasn't enough.
Matumba as well is certainly going to become more and more of a trouble to deal with at Manta style, and with that bit booster now looking to build it up into the heart, so just tanking up against this huge amount of burst that Thunderbirds do have when they get the jump. But now, once he has that heart, you've got to ask, are they actually going to be able to kill him in that initial burst? And with the backup of GH and such, Liquid have got ways to keep that Spectre alive and allow him to turn and fight.
And the other thing is that Thunderbirds haven't been scaling as well on their cores. Like, Wraith King's been sitting at these same items for a long time. It's not just because the courier was sniped. They've lost 2 Roche fights in a row now. It was like the team fight by enemy shrine, then the Roche fight. Resolution hasn't scaled into his next item in a long time, and he's also built a hybrid armor item. So yeah, it's going to increase his damage, but it mostly just makes it so that TA doesn't like 4-shot him or something like that. And because that got delayed by like 5-10 minutes, now they're just, like you said, they're tanking up Spectre. They're not going to kill this guy rapidly anymore. They're not even close to that.
Here we go, Liquid. I mean, we've seen them win the fights outside of the base. The high ground siege becomes the next big test. And looking at both lineups, really, for neither side is it necessarily going to be easy. Lots of ways to fight from the high ground from both teams this game. And understandably so, we're seeing Liquid respect that. Not going to go for any sort of high ground play. as they will back up for now. KuroKy just cleaning up the top lane.
It's too dangerous, and they're safe to do this anyways. Just send Matumba Man far away from where they know Thunderbirds is, and he can always haunt in. It's pretty straightforward. He continues getting farm. Grow can split push the other lanes that are being pressured in just because Monkey King's so able to get around rapidly. It's looking pretty darn good for Liquid right now. Mind Control changing up his creep, picks up the Granite Aura. 15% extra HP for him and his team. Look at his items right now. His HP items are Drum and BKB, and he's got 3k HP. This is actually insane. And he's obviously got the HP perk, but this is a really cool build. I really do like that health perk. It just got buffed so many times. 275 health on a regen-based hero like Doom. That's pretty incredible.
I don't mean 20. If he hits that 25, I imagine you take the 48 H regen.
Infernal Blade damage is hella good, especially against a hero like Wraith King, but it's kind of hard to say. We'll see what he does.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, this game at the moment, 32 minutes, it could end up going on. We could see some of these 25s come out. It certainly doesn't feel like a game that's going to be over just like that. Both teams have lots of ways to keep themselves in the game, split the lanes out, and both have pretty good late game potential. I mean, the team fight from ThunderBirds is always going to be massive. You've obviously got that Invoker that's going to scale incredibly well, and then vice versa. On Liquid side, you have Matumba, and then you have, I mean, even just the Wyvern, someone that can use the enemy's advantage against them.
That's huge against Beastmaster as well. Especially if he grabs somebody that isn't like Wraith King. Pretty much any other hero is definitely a threat to dying in this game.
Summer Man will be gone on here. The Manta Star, though, causing initial trouble for the Raw, but it still comes through in time. With the Golem dropped as well, they'll change him up with the Horn. Tries to get his way out. He's not going to make it. Boundless Strike will be dropped. Mind Control in the front of his all. KuroKy questioning if he wants to get himself involved. Miracle is now coming across to try and join Mind Control. Tornado EMP trying to split Liquid up. Burrow Strike from Moon to hold back Kuro and GH. And with the Deafening Blast and Meteor combo, they'll find one kill. They may even get a second. GH trying to get himself out with the Winter's Curse and TP, and he does make it. Neat little play from himself, but overall, Liquid getting punished heavily there as they were just split up. Matumba Man being caught out and changed in like that at the start was a perfect way for T-Birds to jump in.
Yeah, I didn't really see the framing at the start of the fight, but I'm confused that Matumba Man was there. Like, he's the guy that's supposed to react to the fight with a haunt, but instead it was him getting gone on. Maybe feeling too comfortable with his HP levels. I mean, they definitely blew a lot on him. It took like a Hellfire Blast into Aurora, into a Golem, but against a Spectre, the tankiest guy when he's by himself, that you do that every time.
He's actually going to buy back as well. They really don't want to lose a set of racks. They want to make sure that they keep control of their base, but costing him the buyback, it is going to prolong that heart.
Yeah. No, what's special about that is it wasn't just the base, it was about that shrines right there that they protected. Because if that tier 3 tower falls, they can clear the shrines, and then again the vision game changes again. Because it is still about initiation. If they lose their shrines, it's easier for their opponents to grab gem, close off the map, and just outfarm.
Yeah, that's true. And in a game as well, where it's, you know, no one's really leaps and bounds ahead, those shrines are very important for specifically like Roche control at this stage as well. That's going to be huge as this game goes on. As we can see, there's only a 5k or so difference. So, as you mentioned, for that reason alone, certainly see why the call was made to buy back.
So Wraith King queuing up a Monkey King bar next, so you can hit the Monkey King more often.
There we go, Purge.
Does that prevent him from auto-attacking?
It should. It should take away his weapon. You know, he's picked it up.
Yeah,
he's
that
stolen
makes
it.
sense. Mostly stops the Radiance mischance and potential butterfly pickups for either the TA or the spec. So I think it's a safe pick. You can actually lifesteal from it, by the way, if you didn't know.
Oh, what, from the extra?
From the
damage?
procs,
Yeah.
It's magic damage, but you can still lifesteal from it. It's kind of a cool interaction. And I think he could get away with the 20% vamp aura at 25.
I think he can this game.
I don't think he needs to worry about mana drain.
Yeah, for sure.
Hypothetically, Spectre could get like a Diffusal, but it's a very low chance. So.
I mean, that could be the play, couldn't it? Wait until the rating hits 25, gets the lifesteal, and then hit him with a 70-minute Diffusal Blade pickup.
That could win them the game.
It could win them the game.
You never know.
It could win them the game.
You got to think about those things, just in case 1 out of 1,000 games that happens.
For sure. I mean, with Manta and a Diffusal, you lose that 900 mana pretty quick.
Yeah, that's true. It could actually matter. Goes for strength over attack speed on Wraith King. It's probably the right choice. He will catch Kuro, though. This could be really dangerous for him.
The Sunstrike and the Burrow Strike. Again,
yeah.
Clean combo from T-Birds.
Dangerous, definitely. Looks like Invoker going for a Shiva's Guard next, most likely. It's a good choice.
Very nice, yeah.
Really limit the attack speed of Liquid. A lot of their heroes don't buy that many attack speed items. Usually Spectre sometimes goes more tanky. Heroes like Doom don't buy attack speed very often.
It's really good as well against the Monkey King. You know, when he's trying to get these ults off and Kuro's trying to be in a position, maybe the other side of a tree line as such, suddenly the vision's there, you can get him out. you can get him out.
Figure out where he is and actually kill him.
Yeah. All right, so.
They think they see the Spectre. It's pretty obvious it's an illusion now.
Can he
Nobody
go?
would
I
stand.
don't think he go on mind control, no. Mind control a little too big for him to go on his
Okay,
own.
he definitely knows the Spec's to the left now because he saw the camp retreating, so he's going to try to find him. I don't know if he will, though.
You have got the rest of Thunderbirds making their way up here, but Matuma Man, yeah, he's playing it safe now. Realizes they're off the map, almost certainly being hunted out as he comes right out on that top lane. So straight back out for him. And I imagine we'll see Matuma playing a little safer after that. A bit of a debacle around that Ancients of Radiant.
Yeah, he can't get caught again. He's got tons of HP, but his survivability is not insane. His resistance, things like that. So T-Birds kind of looks like they're considering smoking. They're grouped up as 3. They just know that they can't separate because so many of their heroes just get killed solo. If Monkey King finds a single hero and Spectre haunts, that's a dead hero. So they've got to stay grouped. It's really going to hurt their farm levels. Whereas Liquid feels like they can be more mobile. They've got more Blink Daggers.
Ooh.
And they've got Monkey King. So
He's back up. I mean, in terms of teams taking it, as we've seen, both sides can struggle because of the AoE team fight that each opponent has. Both teams aware of the status of Roche. So control of this area is going to be pretty key. Liquid trying to get as much as they can down bottom as well. A bit of an illusion push. Pressure being put on by Matumba, and now making it across from behind on the mid lane.
yeah, that's so sick what they did. Miracle came mid, pushed the wave, which means T-Birds has to move over and push in, which lets them
They're
initiate.
going to go straight in here with the Horde. And yeah, looking for the backliners, making sure that there's no chaotic offering for this team fight with the Doom dropped as well. They'll take down Saxa. Resolution now being focused, has been split up from the team. Weeha comes in with the Tornado and EMP to try and hold them back. Kuroki has managed to get the Wukong's command off in the high ground, so they'll bring down the Wraith King once, and they'll go for a second time. Boundless Strike immediately there. The damage from Miracle coming through with the Bloodthorn. Finds a second, and now Misery's in trouble as well. Matuma, he's out of mana, but he's there with the chase down. They've got the trap slow. Liquid find a third, only losing GH for that fight. And We Are Moon are still in the neighborhood. Well, the trap slow onto Wii, holds back Kuro with the cold snap, but mind control straight in on his face. Looking for the chase down onto Invoker. Again, the Boundless Strike from Kuroki, slowing down Weeha that little bit more. Did get the dust off, but Moon's there with the Epi Burrow Strike to hold back Kuroki, but it's not enough damage. Miracle quick with the Bloodthorn, tries to go for the chase, but Moon's out with the Blink, and the Sandstorm should be safe for now.
The way they approached that fight start was amazing. Just push the lane, sit everybody to the right, and as soon as somebody comes to push it, they look for the back lane. And once they didn't want to go on the Wraith King, but they knew where he was standing, and because of where he was standing, they could make assumptions that their supports were on the back line. So that was insane play by mind control, because as soon as you doom the Warlock, the fight's won. Spectre just haunts, jumps in on the Warlock, and kills him. And if Warlock had buyback there, whole fight changes. But without buyback, Warlock's out no matter what. And that means that Liquid can actually pressure and take a fight well. And they definitely got advantage there. It wasn't insane. They didn't get Roche as well, but that was maybe the one good thing that ThunderBirds did, is they really delayed the fight. Maybe that's why Weeha stuck around, tried to get them to chase him so that they could prevent Roche from dying. But if he just ran away, they would have just taken it instantly.
And the big items coming out as well, as we just saw the Butterfly now complete on Miracle, Heart complete on Spectre, and an interesting one here from Kuroki this game. He's got the Diffusal Blade coming out for himself.
Yeah, interesting choice. We almost never see this on Monkey King, but more mana drain, and it also applies to your Wukong's command, so those are also going to drain mana. Not to mention, just does a lot of damage.
Yeah, and Andreso, as I said, he's level 23, but because he's a bit dumb, the in-game's not great. He's only got 800 mana, so it could definitely been burnt out. There's the Horn, Misery being looked for first. The Chaotic Offering did come out in time, in fact, Moon comes in with the two-man Burrow Strike. Thunderbirds trying to finish off Miracle. They'll have the Roar to hold him. The damage from Rezo, the crits is not going to be quite enough. Resolution, the evasion is destroying him. He can't get the hits in onto Miracle with the Butterfly, and the Solar Crest buff from his teamfight. He's fine. 3 dead on Thunderbirds. They'll come back in with the Epicenter, but it's not quite enough damage. Matuma Man just absolutely losing no health at all with this Heart. They can't kill him. They're found 4. They're going to be able to find 5 as the bash comes in from Kuroki. A Meld Strike straight between the eyeballs of Moon.
That was a really good fight for Liquid there. The Monkey King ultimate just controlled the fight so well. And even GH, I think, played amazing. He ultied a BKB hero. I think it was the Invoker on the backline. Didn't do much damage, but the important thing was that it really limited what Wraith King's initiation did. He landed his first stun. There was a little bit of follow-up, but it just guaranteed that it was just Wraith King slapping away all fight. And almost every time he got somebody sort of low, it was just Cold Embrace from GH to ensure that Wraith King didn't do enough.
Absolutely,
I'm kind of feeling like he went too defensive on his items here. The Armlet Blade Mail was fine, but I think he maybe should have skipped AC and gone even something like Radiance, perhaps. I think that might have been the better move, just to guarantee that you standing there does a lot of damage.
Misery?
It's hard to say, though.
I mean, for sure, the physical damage limitations of ThunderBirds are certainly showing at this stage. I mean, Liquid have just seemed to scale a lot better. They did suffer early on, but at this stage, just the farm that they have and the way that they're executing these team fights just seems to be a step ahead of ThunderBirds. And ThunderBirds, even when they get their ultimates off, it's not quite enough, and then you kind of ask yourself, well, what is going to be enough? Maybe it is Wraith King getting those items, but he needs a lot of time, and in that time, ThunderBirds are going to continue to just struggle to keep up with the pace that Liquid are farming.
Realistically, it's still about the team fights. Like, items will definitely matter, but it's more likely the reason is because ThunderBirds have been losing fight after fight, and that's because Liquid have been having really good initiations. So maybe we can talk about the AC, but it's realistically, they shouldn't have lost fights. That's the bigger problem than what item he chose. So that's what they got to do. They got to take good fights. They can't get their Warlock doomed. The last 2 or 3 fights, they haven't gotten a rock out of the engagements. It's just always doomed and killed.
Got to be careful here. Miracle doesn't have that DD. And Resolution actually going to jump down to the low ground, looking for the initiation. But again, Solar Crest is on Miracle. He just can't hit him. Miracle just walks it off. He's A-OK. The Haunt comes through in Liquid. They're ready to rock and roll. Straight in onto the high ground. Miracle bursts down one, takes down Misery, turns towards Resolution. They'll pop the Reincarnate. The BKB up, ready to look for more. Resolution will get the blink out, but being forced away from their tier 3. So Liquid will force out in turn the fortification. But definitely still ready to go aggressive. Not feeling too scared at all by the potential of ThunderBird's defense. Burst strike back to safety from Moon. The racks in the mid lane sure to be going down as Liquid looking to be borderline unstoppable at this point.
They want to chase and fight this, but it's so hard against Solar Crest and Aegis on Spectre. Any engagement they go on has a low chance of actually succeeding. So now ThunderBirds is in a really bad spot. They're just not able to combo their disables well enough. Their cores aren't going to scale nearly as well. Wraith King's their carry, but he's not even the most reliable late game. So with offlane Sand King, who's going utility items, they're just going to run out of damage really soon. They have to have a good team fight now or very soon, or they're going to lose.
If they find Matumba, that would be nice, but he does have friends around the corner. And he's such a big target to go on. They will try with the jump in. Liquid's going to come back in response again. Mind control, this time with the Doom straight onto Weeheart. So Weeheart is out the fight. Can't throw any Tornado or such in to break it up in response. And Liquid, they can continue to chase. Diffusal Blade from Matumba Man used to slow down